Huawei P40 Lite is a great budget smartphone with quad camera setup, and it is available in the market from March 2020. The phone got a 6.4-inch LTPS IPS LCD touchscreen display and a resolution of 1080 x 2310 pixels. Huawei P40 Lite has installed 7nm Kirin 810 processor for its performance with integrated powerful GPU Mali Z52 MP6. It has 6GB of RAM with 128GB of internal storage respectively, and the phone supports an expansion of memory up to 256GB via a microSD card. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has quad camera setup on the backside, starting with 48MP main shooter with f1.8 aperture and the 8MP ultra-wide lens with f2.4 aperture and the 2MP macro sensor lens with f2.4 aperture, and the fourth camera is 2MP depth sensor lens with f2.4 aperture. On the front side, it has 16MP selfie camera with f2.0 aperture. Huawei P40 Lite offers Android 10 EMUI 10 operating system. As for the battery, it has 4200 mAh non-removable battery with 40W fast battery charging support that can charge 70% in just 30 minutes, and the phone available in 3 color variant: black, emerald green and light pink, and its weighs about 183 grams. ZTE Nubia Play available in the market from April 2020. The phone got a 6.65-inch AMOLED touchscreen display and a resolution of 1080 x 2340 pixels with an aspect ratio of 19.5:9. The ZTE Nubia Play has installed 7nm Snapdragon 765G processor for its performance with integrated powerful GPU Adreno 620. It has 6GB or 8GB of RAM with 128GB or 256GB of internal storage respectively. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has quad camera setup on the backside. Start with 48MP main shooter with f1.8 aperture and the 8MP telephoto lens with f2.2 aperture and the 2MP macro lens with f2.4 aperture. And the fourth camera is 2MP depth sensor lens with f2.4 aperture. On the front side, it has 12MP selfie camera. ZTE Nubia Play operates Android 10 Nubia UI 8.0 operating system. As for the battery, it has 5100 mAh non-removable battery with 30W fast charging support. The phone available in 3 color variant: black, white and blue, and it weighs about 210 grams. Realme 6 Pro is an updated version of Realme 6. There are slightly differences in specs, camera and processors. If you want to know more, then check out the description below where I talk about these two phones. Realme 6 Pro is available in the market from March 2020. The phone got a 6.6-inch IPS LCD touchscreen display and a resolution of 1080 x 2400 pixels with an aspect ratio of 20:9. And it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The Realme 6 Pro has installed 8nm Snapdragon 720G processor for its performance with integrated GPU Adreno 618. It has 6GB or 8GB of RAM with 64GB or 128GB UFS 2.1 internal storage respectively. The phone supports an expansion of memory up to 256GB via a microSD card. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has quad camera setup on the backside. It has 64MP main shooter with f1.8 aperture and the 12MP telephoto lens with f2.5 aperture and the 8MP ultra-wide sensor lens with f2.3 aperture, and the fourth camera is 2MP macro lens with f2.4 aperture. On the front side, it has 16MP selfie camera with f2.1 aperture and a 8MP selfie camera with f2.2 aperture. Realme 6 Pro operates Android 10 Realme UI operating system. As for the battery, it has 4300 mAh non-removable battery with 30W fast battery charging support. The phone is available in 3 color variant: lightning blue, lightning orange, lightning red, and it weighs about 202 grams. Xiaomi Redmi K30 available in the market from December 2019. a very respectable representative smartphone of the middle class. Probably the most inexpensive screen holder with a refresh rate of 120Hz. The phone got a 6.67-inch IPS LCD touchscreen display and a resolution of 1080 x 2400 pixels with an aspect ratio of 20:9. It is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The Xiaomi Redmi K30 has installed 8nm Snapdragon 730G processor for its performance with integrated GPU Adreno 618, 6GB or 8GB of RAM with 64GB, 128GB or 256GB of internal storage respectively. The phone supports an expansion of memory up to 256GB via a microSD card. For the main camera option of the smartphone, it has quad camera setup on the back side, 64MP main shooter with f1.9 aperture and the 8MP ultra-wide lens with f2.2 aperture and the 2MP dedicated macro camera lens and a 2MP depth sensor lens. The camera provides shooting video in 4K resolution at 30 frames per second and supports 960 frames per second super slow motion video at 720p. The selfie cameras are located in the right corner of the screen, so the cutout for them had to be cut long. It looks specific, but the eye has already begun to get used to it. It has dual camera setup with a 20MP main selfie camera with f2.2 aperture and the 2MP secondary depth sensor lens with f2.4 aperture. Xiaomi Redmi K30 operates Android 10 MIUI 11 operating system. As for the battery, it has 4500 mAh non-removable battery with 27W fast battery charging support, which can charge 100% in just 68 minutes. The phone available in 3 color variants: blue, red, purple, and its weighs about 208 grams. Realme X2 was available in the market from September 2019. The phone got a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED touchscreen display and a resolution of 1080 x 2340 pixels with an aspect ratio of 19.5:9. It is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The Realme X2 has installed 8nm Snapdragon 730G processor for its performance with integrated powerful GPU Adreno 618, 6GB or 8GB of RAM with 64GB, 128GB, 256GB of internal storage respectively. The phone supports an expansion of memory up to 256GB via a microSD card. For the main camera option of this smartphone, it has camera setup on the back side, 48MP main shooter with f1.8 aperture and 8MP ultra-wide lens with f2.3 aperture and a 2MP dedicated macro camera lens with f2.4 aperture and a 2MP depth sensor lens with f2.4 aperture. On the front side, it has 32MP selfie camera with f2.0 aperture. Realme X2 operates Android 9 Pie, planning to upgrade Android 10 ColorOS 6 operating system. As for the battery, it has 4000 mAh non-removable battery with 13W VOOC fast charge 4.0 fast battery charging support, which can charge 67% in just 30 minutes. The phone available in 2 color variants: pearl white, pearl blue, and its weighs about 182 grams.